Boom! Shake the room, Fire Nation. JLD here, and welcome to Entrepreneurs on Fire, brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network with great shows like the Salesman Podcast. Today, we'll be breaking down how to build a $100 million marketing empire from the ground up. To drop these value bombs, I brought Scott Harkey into EO Fire Studios. Scott's agency is turning the heads of brands and holding companies alike with its passionate, agile work, focused strategies, and innovative analytics. Under Scott's leadership, OH Partners has become one of the largest, most decorated agencies in the Southwest, expanding alongside its award-winning sister companies, digital agency Nomadic and production company Matter Films. And today, Fire Nation, we'll talk about the biggest obstacles Scott faced when building this company. We'll talk about how the marketing industry is at an interesting time and what lies ahead. And then we're also going to be talking to you, Fire Nation, the next generation of marketers, and what you need to be on the lookout for, and so much more. And a big thank you for sponsoring today's episode goes to Scott and our sponsors. Success Story, hosted by Scott D. Clary, is brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. Success Story features convos on sales, marketing, startups, and more. A recent episode on how to disrupt an industry is a must listen. Listen to Success Story wherever you get your podcasts. Scott, say what's up to Fire Nation and share something that you believe about becoming successful that most people disagree with.
I love it. What's up, everybody? Happy to be here. What a great day. Let's start out with fire, obviously. For me, it's big failures. I call them resets. And a lot of times people think resets are a thing that makes you have to start all over. But I believe resets are a key to success because for me, every time I hit a point where I have to reset, I have to go to that next click. And what made me successful up to that point isn't going to work for that next click. So people could say like failure, that's kind of cliche, but I think resets are the key, and maybe a lot of people that disagree with me, like everything should be, all good and, nice little path to the top. But I think the big resets are the key to success.
I think people are scared of resets because they kind of feel like they're going backwards or they're starting over, and people kind of get a little nervous with that concept. But Fire Nation, it allows you to clear the deck and say, okay, let's start fresh. What's the next step? What's the next process? What did I learn from some of the mistakes that I made? And of course, some of the successes and wins that I had going forward. And listen, we're talking about how to build a $100 million marketing empire from the ground up. So obviously Scott knows a thing or two about the power of the reset. And I want to talk, Scott, about your journey. Share with us how you got to where you are today.
I'm a street hustler. I'm a college dropout. I barely graduated high school. I've been very passionate about the marketing business and the advertising business. I had been that way since I can remember as a kid. But it didn't start out all rosy. It was a hard journey. I started in radio. I started selling radio like 20 years old because I was pretty much failing out of college. I tried to play football in college, failed that. And I just started selling radio and I loved it. And I started to work with ad agencies and I'm like, man, I think I could do that. So 15 years ago, we started our advertising firm, Owens, Harkey and Associates. And we started in my business partner and we started in his kitchen in Scottsdale with 2 cats. And a small little condo in Scottsdale, and we would make excuses to meet people for coffee or lunch because we didn't have an office. We were embarrassed. And 15 years later, we have almost a couple hundred employees, 5 different ad agencies. We work with some of the biggest brands in the world: the Walt Disney companies, Virgin, Wynn Resorts, Amazon, and it's kind of been a dream come true, but a lot of freaking hard work, a lot of failures. There was a rehab stint in there for me and a huge, crash and burn. There's been divorce in there. There's been almost going out of business multiple times. There's been losing accounts. There's been a lot of crying. So it's been quite the journey, and I'm just appreciative of where we are today and where we will continue to go, and where growth can happen at any time. And sometimes it's painful and sometimes it's fun.